Still look golden.
Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. I've got a friend with me tonight. His name is Dom. He works with me at the comic book shop in my hometown. And tonight we're just going to go through some of my CGC Batman graded books and maybe one that's not graded. But I thought y'all might like to see some cool stuff. So I guess we'll get started.
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
So my first one that I have is my oldest comic book I have in my whole collection.
Okay.
It's one I bought off of an auction probably about 13, 14 years ago, something like that. So I've had it quite a while. Had it graded. It's my lowest graded, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And without further ado, let me produce that one.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, this is Batman number 11. This is a classic cover by Jerry Robinson. It's got the Joker fighting Batman and Robin on just like a stack of cards that all spread it out. Just one of their classic covers. I'm sorry about the glare here. I'll try to give you it's a 4.5, which is my lowest one I've mentioned before, but I'm still happy to have this one. It's got a really cool Daisy air rifle ad in the back. I love these old ads from the 1940s. You wouldn't see that in today's comics.
No, not at all.
So what do you think about this one? What strikes you about this? Since
I really like it.
Since you're kind of new to the older stuff.
To the older stuff. I like how it's balanced.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like how the whole page is being utilized.
So it's balanced.
Yeah. So I like how strategically everything is placed on the cover, and that's nice because sometimes the cover could be very plain and it's not, how can I say it, fulfilling, I guess, for me sometimes when it comes to comics and their covers. Yeah. But there's a lot going on, but it's not too much. It doesn't overdo it.
Yeah, I think it was meant to draw this is mostly for kids back in the day, so it had to draw their attention. And it just became a classic cover over the years because any Joker cover is a classic.
Sure. I like the use of the colors. Definitely the black and the red. I really like that. That seems to be the new trend again with Batman, with it being black and red, especially with the new Matt Reeves movie coming out.
That's cool. Cool. All right.
I gotta sneeze.
Oh, God bless you.
Thank you. Oh, I thought I was gonna sneeze there for a second.
All right. For my second one.
Oh, so this is a 4.5, right?
Yes, which is very good plus.
Very good plus. So when you send something in, just to make sure so I can read the number, when you send that in to get graded, how much does that normally cost versus something that is a 9.8?
Well, the value is definitely lower. If this was a 9.8, it'd be like probably a six-figure book or close to it. I mean, it'd probably at least $90,000 if it was a 9.8.
So $90,000, is that the cost? That's not what's costing you to get it graded, correct? Well, that is the cost of the book itself. It
goes into the fact they have different tiers which you can submit books in, like $0 to $200 or $0 to $400 or between $400 and $1,000, and then it's $1,000 to $3,000, and then above $3,000 they charge you a flat 3% of the value of the book.
Okay, that's good to know.
So my next one is another classic Joker cover. See a little theme here. I love Joker stuff. This one is also it's by Jerry Robinson. I think no, it's Dick Sprang cover. He's another classic Batman artist. This one is number 23. It's kind of a dark cover. I'll try to get.
Should we get some light?
Yeah.
There you go. It's kind of
illuminating.
Yeah, there you go.
So they're playing chess on this cover, and it's another classic cover. This one also, for some of you who don't know, it's a pedigree book, which means it was a classic collection of original owner. This one's called a Crowley copy. It's not a super high. It's a 6.5. This is an old label, but I'm happy to have this one. This isn't super high grade. This is a nice mid grade copy.
It's very nice looking.
Mm-hmm.
Again, but I love they actually fill out the cover of the comic.
Right.
Everything is balanced. Once again, there's a specific style to it that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just really nice. I like it. And that is what point is that?
6.5.
Ooh.
See, it's got little tiny writing. That's the first labels they used back when they started grading books. So I might get this regraded sometime because they have a new label for pedigree books. It's like a gray label.
Sure.
So maybe one of these days. The next one. This is one I hadn't gotten graded the year before last, I guess, before the pandemic. This one I bought off a dealer online. This is another classic Batman cover. This is the first detailed origin of Batman. This is number 47. This is also a 6.5. It's also got, I don't know if you can really tell on here, it's got this little pencil mark that looks like a wagon wheel. He told me it was like a collection called the Zodiac collection. So all the books had these little pinwheels or something on the cover. But I guess CGC didn't really recognize that. So they gave me just a regular blue label, which I'm happy with that. It's still a cool book. Another classic Batman cover with the Batmobile on the cover too.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Very simple, but it's nice.
Yeah. See a sad Bruce Wayne as a boy.
That, did you draw that on there?
Oh, come on. Like I would do that.
Oh, excuse me.
So, yeah. Batman 47.
Batman 47. Good Lord. How old were you when that came out?
All right now. All right. Now.
Oh, that's funny.
So
wow.
This next one is another classic cover. I also won this one on online auction. This is my favorite Golden Age Catwoman cover. It's issue number 65. I believe this one's a 6.0. Yeah, 6.0. Just love the big, giant Catwoman head.
I love it. Selena Kyle.
Selena Kyle, the Empress of the Underworld is what it says on here. That's cool.
When did she get her official Catwoman title? Has it always been Catwoman?
No, she appeared in her first appearance was Batman #1, which I'll never have because it's way too expensive.
Sure.
She was called Cat Lady or
Cat Lady.
I think she's called the Cat or something. She didn't have a costume at first, and they later came out with the costume. But you can always see the original story in the reprints. So my next one is Batman #100. And I bought this one off of eBay a number of years ago. I bought this one ungraded. And it was a great buy because I bought it for like half of what it was actually worth.
Really?
At the time, yeah.
It's a 7.0?
So it came back to 7.0, which was pretty nice for a book from 1956.
That is nice. That's very nice.
So it's got all the classic covers on here, including the Batman 47, which we saw just a moment ago, and the Joker cover. So it's got two of the books I have on here. See that? So it's got this one and it's got that one. These two.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I also was looking at the back too. Look at the article, not the articles, but the.
Yeah.
Please give me a good home.
At almost no cost. It's got. I want you to adopt this Chihuahua.
See, I want to call the numbers in the back of.
See if they're still in service.
Yeah, see if they're still there.
Yeah, it's in Des Moines, Iowa.
I know I did that once when I was in 10th grade.
Uh-huh.
This is how young, dumb, and naive I was. I wanted to quit school and become a writer for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, when I was in 10th grade, Marvel was still located out in New York, where they still had an office in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a number in one of the comics, and I called and I was asking about a job, and dude was like, "Hey kid, that's not how it works anymore.
No.
No, you have to go to school, you have to earn your stripes, and then come on. If what's the word? He was saying you have to almost like intern, but not really.
Okay.
And then if they like you, they'll bring you on as an artist for a story or a writer."
Okay. All right. So for my next book, this is it's considered the first. There's certain ages of books. The first few books were golden age, were from the 40s and the 50s. This is in the 50s when it switches over to the silver age.
Sure.
And so this was kind of a hard date that they have, but really all the characters didn't exactly automatically change to a different, type of character. Like 1956 is when Barry Allen the Flash was introduced, and that's the start of the Silver Age. At that time, Batman was still kind of fighting zany characters. He wasn't really a detective. He was just kind of a goofball. But this one is it's kind of a good example that almost he looks like he's fighting some circus clowns or something. And he's also got Ace the Bat Hound on the cover. This is Batman number 103. It's a 6.0. See Ace the Bat Hound down here. And I don't know. As you can see, it's not the best cover in the world, but still, hey.
Yeah.
It's a 1950s, so you don't know what to expect.
And for a book from 1950s, a 6.0, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's now. I'm sorry.
I love the ad on the back too.
Yeah,
it's got a swing bike. Looks like the one Doc Brown rode in Back to the Future.
Yeah,
sort of.
So where did you come across this comic? How did you land this in your collection?
Most of these are online purchases. I've gone over eBay and Comic Link and other online dealers and stuff.
Out of all the books that we're going through tonight,
mm-hmm.
how many of these actually came from our local store?
From our local store?
Yeah, to where we work.
Not sure if any of them.
Really?
Honest. Yeah, honestly. So most of these I bought already graded, and our store doesn't really do graded books that much. So I've gone elsewhere. And plus, I mean, it's kind of hard to find some of these books in our area. I mean, you see some of them occasionally, but not too often. Not too often.
Do you have these in alphabetical order?
Numerical order and alphabetical.
Okay.
So this one is...
Whoa.
This is the next issue. This is Batman 104, and as you can see, the grade.
It's 8.0 for anybody.
8.0, which is very fine. Just getting on higher grade.
Is there a way so they can see to brighten your screen a little bit?
I don't know. Turn on the light. It's overhead light.
Let's see. Let's do this real quick.
I think that's the microphone. There we go.
There we go. So we brighten that screen up a little bit so you guys can see. There it is.
All right. Maybe that helps a little bit.
Oh, yeah. That definitely helps a lot.
So I hope it's not too grainy or whatever.
No.
All right.
That looks good.
And another ad for guns on the back in those days. Daisy air rifles. I think I had something like that when I was a kid. I love it. And of course, this is probably around because Godzilla was big back in the 50s, so they had the big creature from 20,000 Fathoms.
So for those of you who are watching, go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, too, let us know your thoughts on these comics that Carter and I are showing you. Any nostalgia feeling that you're feeling? Do you have any of these comics? Go ahead and join the conversation and join us.
Yeah. Here's another pretty rare one. Most of these books from the early issues in the 100s are pretty hard to find above a VG. I was lucky enough to just kind of track down some of these over the years. So This is one of my highest graded from that era. This is number 107, which is C is 8.5. And a very fine plus is pretty tough to find in this time period. This is from 1957, of April 57. So yeah.
And that's a harder one to find. That's
yeah. If you can find a copy of this, it's probably like a 2.0 to a 3.0, 4.0, something.
Good
like
Lord.
That. Yeah, this is an 8.5.
So out of all of these books that we've seen so far, which ones are your favorite?
The oldest one. I mean, the 11 is just a classic. It's probably my favorite. I mean, come on, it's classic Jerry Robinson Joker cover. Can't go wrong with that.
How many times have you read it?
I've only read it once in like the reprinted material. Yeah,
sure.
I've never really flipped through this one much before I had it graded.
Oh yeah.
Let's see the next one. This one's kind of a funny cover.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, this is number 108, and you see Batman Jones is there. I don't know if he's a villain or what. Look, there's Batman Jones, and he's riding a bicycle.
Batman Jones.
Yeah, and this is a pretty high grade. It's a 7.5. It's got white pages, which is,
is that rare?
Yeah, page quality is important on grading. White pages means the pages aren't that tan. They haven't really degraded that much. So that's really what you go for. I mean, off white to white's good, just depending on the age of the book. But
sure,
this one's great, page quality. Next. Next one we have another one from 1957. This is issue number 112. It's also a 7.5. Sorry about the glare.
And what's some of the dialogue that's being said?
This one's, what's happening? I'm not Batman. Who am I? There's the Batman who thinks he's Batman officer, but this is the real Batman next to me.
Oh Lord.
So, these were written for 10, 12-year-olds in the 1950s. They, hadn't been reading too long. So these were just kind of beginning stuff for the people,
sure,
growing up in the 1950s. So it's always fun just to see these kooky covers and the kooky dialogue. I mean, it's the same thing if you read like the Archie books from that time period.
Yeah.
This is another pretty high grade. This one, I don't know if this one's really got really nice color to it. It's got a hot pink cover to it. This is number 113, and this is an 8.0. And look at these kind of kooky alien bug creatures or whatever he's fighting against.
So in Batman's history of comic books, at one point, at what point does it start changing? Do we start losing these? We begin to lose these very vibrant colors that pop off, like the pinks, the orange, the blue and gray. And when do we really start turning into that
Dark Knight stuff?
The Dark Knight and
70s. We'll get to some of that towards the end of this book.
Towards the end
of this box here.
So during this time too, in this era of comic books, what exactly was really going on that was influencing the storytelling of that time?
Definitely science fiction. Science fiction was huge in the 1950s with flying saucers and the Roswell thing in the late 1940s, and all the science fiction movies of the 1950s that were coming out. It was huge. Things really kind of went away from superheroes during the 1950s because World War II was over with, and people were paying more attention to the funny, Archie type books, funny, kiddie books like that. And so they had to do science fiction type stuff to get kids' interest. And so there was also like the horror books from EC, like Tales from the Crypt and those type of books.
Okay. And also too, did they ever in this, they always say the comics that are released today or back in the 80s and 90s, especially speaking with Jamie, he's saying they were a real reflection of the time. So I don't really remember. Great Depression, was that the 20s? Or was that?
It was the end of 1929 through World War II.
Okay. So
to the 1930s.
To 1930s. Batman was created 39.
39.
39.
Superman was 38.
38. So in those earlier titles, do we see some of that reflection in these stories?
I believe so, but I mean, mostly they were fighting either Nazis or the Japanese or gangsters. It was mostly gangsters. There weren't a whole lot of supervillains. I mean, Joker was one of the first supervillains.
But he was more on the comical aspect of things, correct?
At first, he's more of a crook. He's more of a gangster. It looks like a Joker, but his variations over the years really changed a lot. I mean, he became a clown. He was a crook.
At some point, he was killed off, though, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, he actually, the first issue, he supposedly died.
And then they said, okay, oops, we have a character here. Let's bring him back.
He was so popular, they decided to bring him back. All right. Here's another crazy cover.
Oh, good Lord.
Batman's fighting caveman or something. This is issue number 115 from 1950.
That one guy right there looks like me. The beard and the hair.
So he's redheaded.
Yeah, he's redheaded.
Yeah, Batman's in a bottle. Another decent grade, 7.0. I mean, again, this wouldn't be one you'd find in very high grade either. So
yeah,
7.0 is good enough for me. I know there's probably
seen that cover.
Yeah, there's probably a couple that are higher than that at least. Next issue. This one's kind of
wacky.
It's a little wacky. It's got I don't know if this is supernatural. It's got some weird creatures on it too. This is number 116. Yep. And this is 8.5, which is pretty high grade for that time period.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And who's the writer at this time?
At this time, writer Bill Finger, actually, the one of the creators of Batman, wrote this one. Sheldon Moldoff. I haven't met him. I saw him at San Diego Comic-Con years ago. One of his panels, they spoke.
So
he's with his art in this one. So
around what time did Bob Kane step away from writing?
Probably the 1960s. He did some stuff in the 60s.
He did?
Yeah, I think he started off writing most of the stuff through the 40s and some of the 50s, and then he kind of trailed off in the 60s and let it off to other writers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if you could meet Bob Kane today, if we could have him on your show, or any of these writers or pencilists and artists, or these artists. Sorry, my allergies are starting back up again. What would you ask them? What would be that grand question that you would ask during that interview?
I don't know. That's a tough one. When you meet somebody who's created something that's such a huge influence on pop culture, it's just kind of amazing. I have met Jerry Robinson. I have his autograph on the. I got a print up there that's got his autograph. I met him at San Diego too before he passed away, and he was a really nice old gentleman. He was very friendly. He's nice and will answer anything you said. He's a very kind person. I wish I got to speak with him a little bit more, but at a convention like that, it's hard to.
It's hard to have that one-on-one with somebody.
Yeah,
because you have to keep moving and keep going.
Yeah. This next one's kind of a minor key. I don't know if you've ever heard of the whirly bats.
I've never heard of them.
They're little flying chairs with a helicopter blade. This is number 120. I think they've had them in some of the cartoons back in the 60s and 70s. So I have this one. This is a pretty nice copy. It's 8.0. Yep, December 1958.
Is Batman's legs broken?
It looks like they're in cast.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, so it says, you said we didn't have to worry about Batman because he's injured. I don't know, he'd be operating from a one-man copter. That's what these guys do.
Interesting. It's funny to go back and look at some of these comics and seeing the technology that they came up with at the time.
Yeah.
And how they are in our own world today.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see an iPhone or a smartwatch in comics during this time, and then now they're
Dick Tracy. We had this wristwatch for a phone,
and now people are walking around when they get a text message, they'll sit there and talk into it. Yeah. It's incredible to think how much the time periods mirror each other.
Okay, so my next one is a really special book. You've seen my video of me opening this for the first time I got it back. So you'll know what the story is once you see this one. This one's a very big key issue, one of the major villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery. This is Batman 121. And he's known as Mr. Zero in this first appearance, but he's later on known as Mr. Freeze. And if you recall, this book was signed by Neil Adams unintentionally. Well, the graders at the convention made a mistake, put in the wrong stack. So it was signed by him because he hadn't even done Batman for probably 8 years after this. So this is like 8 years before he actually worked on the books. And so he signed it. I had a little issue with the grader, and so they took it back. He said, "Hey, what if I get Neil Adams to draw a little sketch on it?" So I said, "Okay, we'll see how it comes out." And I think it turned out great because it's kind of got that appearance. It even kind of matches his collar out there. You see the icicles.
Yeah.
So he drew a little Mr. Freeze sketch on there.
Yeah, right up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And
that was a way of him saying, "Hey, look, sorry for the."
Yeah, it made up for it. This is a very really unique book because I don't think any 121s have something drawn in there from a professional artist, anyways.
Yeah. So when was the first time we've seen Mr. Freeze? Oh, that was the first time.
This is his first appearance.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he was known as Mr. Zero.
That's it, Mr. Zero.
Yeah, and that just sounds kind of like a loser, I guess.
Now, was he portrayed by Vincent Price, or was that Egghead?
That was Egghead. I can't remember the actor's name who played Mr. Freeze, but it was kind of a German guy, or he had a German accent at least in the show.
Okay.
Yeah. His second appearance was in Detective Comics 373, and he was called Mr. Freeze at that point from then on.
Sure. And then what really boosted him into popularity was the animated series, right?
Yeah, the Heart of Ice episode by Paul Dini.
Yes.
Was a classic episode. Kind of gave him a full-on origin story, which was great.
I love it.
All right. I really like this cover. I just like the composition of this one. It's even got Ace the Bat Hound on it. This is number 123. Ace the Bat Hound. Yeah, he's even got a mask.
It looks like some BDSM mask.
Well, it's not. Let's not go that far. I love the spotlight on him. Batman. There's another classic Silver Age purple color. Purple was one color they used a lot back in those days. So
I have noticed that.
Pink and purple were kind of the
go-to
colors for backgrounds. This next one. King Batman the First. It's number 125. Another 7.0. Yeah, I don't think they've ever reprinted these issues, so I'm kind of curious to what.
I wonder why.
Well, they weren't that popular, so I mean, who knows? I know they reprinted the Mr. Freeze issue. But
Do we have any of these at the store? Any of these?
not the earlier ones, probably not.
No.
No. Here's another pink. Here's a pink cover with Batwoman on it. The first Batwoman. Yeah, this is number 126, 6.5.
Whoa, what is up with her? Cow. Oh, that's interesting design for Batwoman.
Yeah. Yep, she's got a yellow costume, but you can't hardly tell. She's got a lot of black on this one.
Yeah.
She's got yellow leggings and a red cape and red gloves and boots.
Now, are you disappointed that some of these designs haven't transferred over on the screen or cartoons?
I think cartoons would be okay, and they've actually kind of done some of those. The Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon they had, it came around 2007, 8.
Sure.
They had a lot of the homages to the Silver Age of Batman and stuff, which was kind of cool. This next one's really cool. It's got some kooky characters again on here. I don't know if y'all have heard of Batmite, which was kind of this little fourth dimensional imp from some other dimension, I guess. And
like Mr.
Mixoplex, yeah. This guy, he liked to help. He liked to help Batman,
but always got in the way.
But always kind of got in the way. This is his third appearance. This is number 133 to 7.5. I don't know if you can see that grade, but it's also got a picture of Batwoman on it too, and it's got Bathound again.
So that Batwoman is that Barbara? Is that Barbara Gordon? Which Batwoman is that?
Kathy Kane.
Kathy Kane.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Who soon became Kate Kane.
Yeah. Let's see next one. Oh, this one. This is one kooky villains.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is it's not a pedigree per se, but it says from the collection of Joe and Nadia Marinino. I can't even pronounce their name.
Where is it?
Right there. It's definitely
Marino. Oh God.
Anyways, this one has got the rainbow creature.
And your favorite.
He appeared on the I was talking about the Batman Brave and the Bold.
Sure.
He appeared on one episode of that. So
really,
yeah, it was kind of a cool episode. Like they're kind of flat like pancakes.
Yeah, I see that. Looks like
the green aura from the rainbow creature has turned us into two-dimensional people.
Flat Stanley.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what I got next. Oh, this is another key issue that you don't see in high grade hardly at all.
Okay.
I bought this one on an auction, and at the time it was the highest graded. There's two copies. This is one of the two that was highest graded, but now there's like a 9.2 or 9.4. This is the first appearance of the first Batgirl, Betty Kane.
Betty Kane.
Yeah, that's her right there. So this is her first appearance. This is a 9.0.
Let's see if I can get some light.
With off-white pages.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like it.
First Batgirl.
First Batgirl.
The first Batgirl. The next two are pretty big keys. Pretty big keys. This next one is a very reminiscent of the Batman 66 TV show. He became a very popular villain that appeared on the show. This is the first Silver Age appearance of the Riddler. And this is Batman 171. This is also a pedigree copy. It's called the Big Apple pedigree, which I guess is from New York. And this one's pretty high grade. It's 8.5. This is one of the books I aimed at getting when I first started collecting Batman back in the 80s, and I finally got a really nice copy at one point. So
I love it. I love how he's spinning
mm-hmm.
and he's laughing.
Yeah, cool. This has an ad for like the old models. They used to build models and paint them, but the Roar models. So it's got a Batman and a Superboy box on that one.
They had models and stuff like that back then?
Oh yeah, they've had plastic models for a long time.
I thought that was like some of the stuff behind us. I thought that was a relatively new thing from early 70s or late 70s, early 80s.
No.
Like sideshow collectibles and stuff like that.
You're talking about like statues?
Yeah.
This is more like the plastic model, like an airplane model or a
car
model.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those type of things.
Oof. You have to put them together.
You have to, take the little extra plastic off at the end. But this is a really hot book right now. At the time I bought this one, I was kind of disappointed in the grade, but now I'm just happy to have it because it's going to be a really expensive book. This is the first appearance of
Poison Ivy.
I was supposed to say Catwoman. It's not Catwoman. It's Poison Ivy. It's a 7.0. This is an old label. See it right there. 7.0. It's got it's got a little stain here. You can see that little dot right there on the edge. That's probably one of the biggest drawbacks to the book. It's got a lot of times you'll see that the red on these covers will rub off. So this one's got pretty good strong.
That almost looks like cover. Peter Pan in the background.
Yeah, it does right here. The shadow.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Is she the cause?
Mm-hmm. Is she?
Oh yeah, Poison Ivy
was definitely a temptress at the time. The next one is her second appearance. This one's the high grade. This is a Big Apple. Also, it's a 183. It's a 9.2. One of my earliest 9.2s, I think.
Now, when you get your books graded, is it like the same way? And a weird reference, but is it the same way you're getting your dog chipped? Right? So you have this book graded.
Well, it's not like you're going to lose the book and you have to track it down.
No, I mean, well, sometimes I'm saying, like, is there in some database, okay, this book is a 9.2, it belongs to Carter, and it has a number to where somebody can look up that number in that database?
Well, it does have a code here. It does have a serial number. So I don't think that tells you who the owner of the book is per se, because these books trade hands, cash. People just trade them in person. CGC doesn't know who owns this. They'll have grader's notes of why it was graded this. If it's something below like a 9.6, a lot of times people like 9.6. Why didn't it have grader's note? What's the problem? Well, it's just got such a minor thing. You should probably be able to tell what it is.
Yeah. So if I were to steal this book from you and you say, hey, I had this book, this is the barcode that I was under, how can we track this down? There's no...
I have to catch you with it and have it still with the label on it. It's not really that secure as far,
Okay. But that was one of those things, again, I know I sound very naive and uneducated, but it's just one of those things that I've always wondered.
This next one is not a super key. It's not really a key book. I just got it because it's a Neil Adams cover. We're talking. This is one of the first books I have from the 70s that's graded. This is 224. It's 9.2.
And this is around the time that we start embracing that black on the cover. Really,
this one's when Batman becomes the detective. He kind of travels the world as an adventurer type person. He meets the character which we see in this next book, which isn't graded. I have it in the case, but I thought I'd show it anyways. I remember buying this book at Dragon Con, in 1991. So
Good Lord.
I've had this books 30 years now, almost. And at that time, the book wasn't nearly as valuable as it is now. I bought it up, just flipping through long boxes at one of the dealers, and he had the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul, yeah.
And this one is really pretty high grade. You're probably not be able to see it on camera, but there's like a little bit of a bend in the.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can tell if you.
Yeah.
Kind of,
a little bit.
But anyways, I bought it for $20.
That's not bad.
$20, and now it's worth this one and this. If I had it graded, it'd probably be at least $1,200 book or so.
Good Lord, Carter.
Yeah. And I had this one. It's signed on the inside by Neil Adams. It's signed by the inker, which his name is Dick Giordano.
Okay.
And the editor, Julius Schwartz. So it's got 3 signatures in here.
All right. So you bought this book in what, 91?
Mm-hmm.
$20?
For $20.
All right. So you can make your money back. I'll pay you $40 for it.
No.
No? Come on.
No. This one will probably be buried with me.
Are you serious? You would do that?
I probably would.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know. I'll probably have at least one book buried with me.
Sure, absolutely. You need something to read while you're 6 feet under.
6 feet under, right?
You need something to do. Let's see if there's anybody in that live chat.
Nobody's chatting, but I think we had a few watchers.
Okay.
I didn't buy this one for $20, but I got a pretty good deal on this book. It's another classic Neil Adams cover. This one's issue number 237, The Night of the Reaper. I bought this along with another book I'm going to show in a few moments. I bought this about $150, I think. And I'm sure it's a lot more than that right now. Probably a $400 book or so. Maybe.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love it. This has got a car model back over. Definitely a 70s looking car there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This next one's another Neil book.
Oh, I've seen that book before.
It's got, we may have had this one at the store, or we still have it. I'm not sure. Has a Ra's al Ghul and Talia appearance in it. This is 243. Not super high grade. It's an 8.5, but gotta love those Neil Adams covers.
Is he your favorite?
He's one of my top favorite artists of all time.
I think I have. I think. Who's mine? Is it Sale?
Tim Sale.
Tim Sale.
He's pretty good. Yeah. He's one of my top 10 at least.
Jeff Loeb, storytelling,
mm-hmm.
and Tim Sale. I've really, everybody says The Long Halloween's the greatest story, but it truly, for a long time, I was like, well, whatever. And Carter's like, no, you have to read this.
Yeah.
I just wanted more after I read it.
Right. I know you did.
Yeah. The Dark Victory.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect follow-up.
Mm-hmm. The
Haunted Night.
Haunted Night, yeah.
And is there anything else after that?
Well, they did a bunch of, Haunted Night was really a bunch of specials from the Legends of Dark Knight series back in the 90s.
But that book is before The Long Halloween, even though it came after, correct?
Yeah, they just collected it afterwards.
Right. But technically it came before.
Yeah.
And then they were finally like, okay, we have something here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's tell this story.
Yeah.
So with The Long Halloween coming out, are you disappointed that they didn't follow that art style?
A little bit. I'm a little concerned, but hopefully the story will be decent. It's going to be hard to, the adaptation of Dark Knight Returns was great. I loved it.
Yes.
I thought that was really excellently done. So
okay.
it'll be hard to top that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, we're down to our last two books.
Whoa, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, somebody can turn on.
No. Hey, well.
All right now.
It's been a long day.
All right. These are two classic Neil Adams covers. This one is another
Oh, yes.
The one with the pants, even though he has his shirt off, still has a cowl.
So what's funny about this storyline and this picture here, it was heavily influenced, or Arrow season 3 was very heavily influenced by the storyline.
Yes, I could see that.
Yeah.
With the swords and everything.
Yep.
Definitely a classic Neil Adams cover. Yeah. I'd like to get him to sign this and resubmit it to get that signature, but that's okay.
Is he naked? Does he have Batman naked?
He's got pants and underwear on.
Yeah, he's got pants and underwear on over here.
But he's got his shirt off.
He's got his shirt off, but yet Ra's al Ghul has the full
outfit
in his hand. So it's a little contradicting right there.
Yeah, I guess they can get back past the censors or something back in the day.
Maybe.
It'd be kind of hard to do today too.
You think so?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Well, today we really don't have that. What's it? NP. The rating. What is it?
The comics code.
Yeah, the comics code. That's kind of dropped off a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, yeah. All right. Y'all ready to see my last book?
Oh yeah, man.
This is a classic Neil Adams cover. It's probably my, I don't know. It's probably top two. I don't know if it's one or two. There's only one or two others that I might consider. 250.
Whoa. Yep.
Joker's 5-Way Revenge was this classic issue.
I think I have the
facsimile copy of it. They did a reprint.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, I've bought the reprint recently.
This is a 9.4, which is really high grade.
And that's the original.
This is the original copy.
First print, first run.
Yes.
First cover. Or cover like A or B or whatever.
No, they didn't have A or B. They didn't have variant covers. But
really?
No.
That's a relatively new thing.
It's in the last 30 years. You know, the 90s is when they really took off with variant covers. There were some occasionally back in the day when they made mistakes or something, but
yeah.
Or they had like the 30-cent variants for Marvel books sometimes.
Sure.
But most of the time there was just one cover, and this is probably the classic Neil Adams cover. It's been homaged several times too.
So I was gonna say you also have a Neil Adams cover back here, right?
No.
Or who is that?
I'll show it. He's more known for Spider-Man and Spawn.
Okay.
This is Todd McFarlane. I actually bought this one off the shelf brand new. This is Batman 423. I'll probably get this one graded someday.
That was brand new, right off the shelf. You bought
right
it
off the shelf in September 1988. Well, it was probably before September. I think they were ahead on dates. But
good Lord! Now, do they still use that newspaper? Right.
At this time, they did. Yeah. They didn't move the slick until the 90s. Sometime the slick paper. But yeah, I had to pose it next to the
statue right up here.
If you can see the statue.
Todd McFarlane.
Yeah. Kind of hard to see from that angle, I guess. But yeah.
I love it.
So I think that's all we got tonight. We've been online for almost an hour now.
Yeah, man.
I haven't done a video this long before, so I'm glad those of y'all who stuck with us.
Sure.
And be sure and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. I'm glad to have a new video out this week, and I promise I'm going to do like a top 50 soon. Some of these books you've already seen will probably be in there. There'll be a few in there, but so a lot of people have been doing their top 50 comics. They have graded or ungraded, or they have different rules for what they want. It's their top 50. So
okay.
I plan on doing one of those sometime soon. I'm just trying to get my list together.
With your top 50, would you be showcasing them on Instagram too as well?
Some of them are already on my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
you can probably guess what some of them are. But Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
all right, guys. That's going to be it for us tonight. And I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Later. All right.